Hi, I'm Yelena.
I'm David.
And in this tutorial, we're going to look at Setu Bandhasana, which is the last pose of the primary series. And it translates to something like bridge configuration.
Yeah, Setu Bandhasana.
I said Setu Bandhasana.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Setu.
No, Setu Bandhasana.
Yeah? Okay, all right.
But before we go on, make sure you let us know what else you want to see by commenting. Maybe give us a like, subscribe, send it to your friends. Any of those, we'd appreciate very much.
Yeah.
All right, so in this video, I'm going to be talking and David will be demonstrating. This is a really difficult and tricky pose as is, and then it's also quite scary just from looking at it because it seems like so much of our weight is going into the neck. It is really important to understand that your neck should not ever hurt when you're doing this pose. So we're going to go over a few things that hopefully will make you feel more comfortable doing it. And if there's any pain or discomfort, it'll take some of that away.
Yeah, you got to be really careful with this. Yelena will tell you the secrets to it, but there's just such radically different ways to get into it. And one way will kill your neck, basically. So if you are doing this pose and kind of clenching your way through it, stop. It is not good for your neck. There is a way to do this pose properly that gives you more mobility and strength in your neck and no pain.
And as always, the key to kind of learning or relearning this pose is to just slow down. Really listen to the instruction and see if you can truly embody them. And even if that means you have to scale back and not go to the depth that you normally would in this pose, that's better. But we really don't want you feeling anything in your neck.
No.
And you got to breathe, because if you stop breathing, then you're going to clench and then you're going to get that same effect.
It's yoga.
All right, so let's start.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to set up first. I want to show you the legs. So David's going to start with his feet on the mat here, lying down. And so when we set up, we want to bend the legs and bring them 1/3 of the way towards our bum. The tendency is often to actually bend the knees too much and bring the heels too close to your bum and your pubic bone. So you want to start much further out. Eventually, legs need to be straight. So this is one of those poses where you're going to try a few times until you figure out what's the perfect distance. But most often, it's 1/3 of the way. And then we want our feet to point out. So not together, but pointing out. And as we turn the feet out, we want to make sure that we're still reaching down through our toes. So you don't want to let all the weight kind of go and dump on the outer edges of your foot, but the big toes are reaching down towards the floor. Now, because it is a back bend, it means we have to go into an arched position with our back to set up. So the best way to do that is use your fingers, grab your bum, and then using your elbows, prop yourself up, arching and coming onto the top of your head. In a second, we'll switch around and we'll talk about what's happening in the head and the way we set up there. So now you can see David's already in a little bit of a back bend there. The hands cross on the chest. And then to start lifting into this pose, we actually want to start resisting and pushing down into the heels and then slowly sliding backwards without thinking that we're going to lift the bum. So think about keeping the bum nice and low and kind of being more vertical to the floor and then sliding back. The elbows rest on top of the chest and the legs are nice and strong here to provide support. And then as we come down, we reverse it to lower down. So now let's look at it from this side. So David, put your head here. Another common mistake in this one is that when you start to set up and you go really, really too forward on your head. So we are eventually trying to get the hairline kind of close to the floor, or I should say we're trying to roll towards the hairline, but when we set up, we actually want to come a little bit more towards the back of our head. And so again, we go through the same setup, make sure the feet come 1/3 of the way, The toes are reaching down towards the floor. You come into that arch. If it's your first time doing this, you might even want to keep the hands on the floor just for that extra stability. And then when you're ready, you're gonna, again, let the bum be heavy. So let the bum kind of drop down, and don't initiate the movement by pushing the heels and lifting up. That's gonna go into the neck and it's not gonna feel really good. Think about pushing through your heels to make the movement come this way. And as David does that, then you can see how he rolls more towards the forehead or the hairline. And then there's no pressure in the neck. Neck stays nice and relaxed. The core is nice and strong and engaged, kind of coming back to that center point in the body. And then with same intention and control, we slowly release down. Well done.
Yeah, thanks.
Do you have anything to add?
Weirdly, I like that pose. I can remember not liking it when I did it wrong. And then now that I know how to do it right, it's a good feeling. But again, we've talked about this in other tutorials. What's natural, what comes easy, isn't always what's right, especially in training, you know? So try these instructions. Don't use your glutes. Don't use your bum to lift up.
Yeah, don't squeeze and up.
Which is kind of, it's basically one of our rules for backbending. A little bit of a controversial rule in some camps, but most of your backbending effort should be initiated from your legs, from the quadriceps and the hamstrings, not from the glutes. Glutes can be a little active, but you don't want them to be the prime mover.
And I think this is where that tip of making sure that you're reaching through your big toes and kind of pointing them towards the floor as opposed to letting them roll out plays a really big role, because as you reach, you're actually spinning your legs in a little bit. And as you spin the legs a little bit, it's gonna activate your quads and it's gonna activate your hamstrings, but it's not gonna clench your glutes.
Yeah.
And so you'll feel a lot of stability throughout your lower body when you do that.
Yeah, and Jelena mentioned it when I was setting up, but just what I find is so important is the position of the feet is kind of like a fishtail where it's at an angle. You make sure you're not putting your feet...
Like a mermaid?
Yeah, like turning them straight out to the sides, because that will make it impossible for you to get that inward rotation again. And it'll also be very difficult to get the feet flat on the floor.
Right, and the heels will start separating. We want to keep the heels together in this one as we roll into the position. Yeah.
Yeah, lots of challenge, but it's a good pose. It's a nice change too at the end of primary from all the forward bends. You know, this kind of random, crazy neck back bend.
All right. So if you'd like this, make sure you give us a like, subscribe, and let us know what else you want to see me or David demonstrate.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.